Welcome back, and with me is a young man that's made quite an impact in the West in particular. Moved around a little bit, played at California for an old friend, Lou Campanelli, who's kind of a defensive specialist. Did you get any of that defense out there with him?
I got a lot of it. That's why I forgot so much of it since I've been here. But I do have it deep down somewhere.
You were drafted by Cleveland and then traded. Was that a shock to you? Did you think you were going to be in Cleveland for a long time?
I really did, because I think anytime you get drafted in the lottery, you think that you're going to at least be a part of that team for a couple years. But playing behind Mark Price, you know, I knew I wasn't going to get a lot of time. And he played so well, and he taught me so much. And I think that I was really receptive to the trade, even though I was surprised. Surprised because I didn't hear any trade rumors, but receptive because I knew I was going to get an opportunity to play once I got out in Phoenix.
That was a major trade, and we looked at it a little bit differently because of the people who came to the East and to our division in particular. But then to see what happened when you people went out West, and actually I think you going there has pretty much made their franchise, you and Tom Chambers in particular. They were down. There's been a tremendous resurgence, and Cotton has really given you the ball in that pick-and-roll play. That pick-and-roll play, talk about the pick-and-roll. It's one of the oldest plays in basketball where a guy sets a screen for a guard, comes off, and makes things happen. But you guys must run it 40 times a game.
Well, we would have ran it about 50 times until the second half. You guys made an adjustment and found a way to stop it. But, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, Cotton likes to keep things simple, fun, and likes to let us go out and have fun. He doesn't like to call a lot of plays. I mean, he calls them in certain situations, and when something works, you know, he wants to just milk it until somebody makes an adjustment, and then when somebody finally makes an adjustment, we'll switch and do something else. So that's definitely our bread and butter.
You, last year, you went to the finals against the Lakers, played them tough. Is your club improved enough to make a run at them? Because I happen to think they're playing better than they did last year, and they're much deeper.
I agree. I mean, they're definitely playing better, and they are a lot deeper. I mean, but as far as our club and where we're concerned, I think we're a much improved team. And the reason why is that last year was our first year playing together with Cotton Fitzsimmons, Tom Chambers, and myself. And I mean, I look at your success, Detroit, LA, Philadelphia, of the past, Boston, and those teams had to play together a while before they really gelled. And I'm hoping that we're on that same track, that we will get better this year and next year simply because of our familiarity with one another. And I believe that good things will happen. I mean, LA is going to be tough to dethrone, but I think we'll give them a good run.
It does take a lot more time than people think. You, in terms of playing against, who are the more difficult people for you to play against?
As far as team-wise or individuals?
Individuals.
Joe Dumars and Isaiah to start off. Those guys are really tough. Out in the West, I mean, you know, anytime you play against LA and Portland, teams that are playing well, they don't play so much individually as good as they do team basketball. And I think, you know, you guys have done a great job doing that. So I think those teams that I've just mentioned team-wise are a team that really help out and play well together. Defensively, they're tough for me to penetrate against.
Yeah, I got to go back to the exhibition season. We played you twice, one in Vegas and once in
Phoenix, Tempe.
Yeah, Tempe. And at that time, your emphasis was really on the defensive end. And you were very, very physical. And I was a little bit astounded at how physical and how tough you're playing. You handled us twice pretty well. We had about 5 or 6 altercations in the second game. But now I don't see as much of that as the season has gone on as I saw in the exhibition. Did you have emphasis on the defensive end and the physical side and get away from it, or what exactly happened?
So you know I'm going to take that back to coaching
and
make sure I get our players together and tell them that. And that's a good point. And I think anytime you just come out of training camp and in preseason, the emphasis is definitely on defense. And because our offense has been so successful, you're probably right. We have went away from that. And I think hopefully in the last month or so, we went back toward that defensive concentration that we had earlier. And I mean, I'm going to tell Cotton what you said, so there's no doubt we're going to see a much improved defensive play in the second half.
Well, it's just an observation of mine, and I think, do you think a commitment defensively is from the coach or from the players, or both?
I think it's both. I think that if you have a person that's a player on the team that's a strong enough personality, that will do it. But anytime you have a coach that reminds the players over and over, and you know he's serious with that commitment, that somehow the players, they get the point. And I think that, you know, I mean, I remember watching you guys when you lost in the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals to Boston. But the next year, I mean, you guys were driven. Everybody was in sync. And I think that's what I'm hoping, that we can follow that same path. We lost in the Western Conference Finals. Hopefully we'll be more driven the second half of the season and this year to hopefully follow up and take it a step further.
How about this game? You getting any minutes from Magic and Stockton? You're going to have to pay somebody to get some minutes, right?
I tell you what, I'm going to like try to hide their shoelaces and whatnot, so when we go out, maybe they won't be able to start, and I can get a couple quick minutes before they get some new shoelaces.
This is your first trip?
Definitely.
Are you excited about it?
Very excited, and I don't want anybody to wake me up. I'm just enjoying it. I'm tempted to go around and get some autographs, but I don't want to look foolish.
KJ, thank you very kindly for being on, and much success. We don't play anymore, and if the only way we meet and be finals, if you get better defensively, great. I hope you have a great year. I hope you have a great game here in Miami, and good luck.
Thanks,
thank you for being with us. We'll be right back with Virgin.